Yeah, bet you didn't see this coming, did you? So, this is my review of the Netflix South Korean series called The WONDERfools, and some of you are probably thinking, what is that? Yeah, well, I mean, I know that I'm sure there's a fan base for it out there. I mean, it's a pretty new series, but some people have heard of it. It's gotten a lot of good reviews and stuff. But there's probably a whole bunch of people who haven't seen it or even know about it. So here I am, just wanting to give my thoughts about it because I think it's something worth talking about. Well, let me just give an idea of what the series is about. So, basically, it's set in this small Korean town. It's about this group of these misfits, these outsiders. I guess you can call them the eponymous WONDERfools. Although the series never actually calls them that within the show. But anyway, so there's four of them. One of them is this young woman. She's a bit eccentric. She's a bit listless in her life. She wants more out of it. She wants to go travel, but she's under the overprotectiveness of her grandmother, and she's also dealing with this illness. I'm not going to give too much away, but yeah, she's has a bit of a heart problem, which holds her back. And another member of this group is her friend who works with her in her grandmother's restaurant, who's like this pushover wallflower guy who's just like the butt of everyone's jokes in this town. And the third guy is just like this older gentleman. He's this like conspiracy theorist type. He's just he's in a cuckolded marriage. He's a family man, but he doesn't get respect in his home. Doesn't get respect in the town because of his ways. And finally, we have this young man who's he's quiet, he's reserved, keeps to himself, as a modest position in City Hall, but he's also hiding some secrets of his own. And through a series of unfortunate and circumstances, kind of meet together at this local dump, which has this like substance or something that kind of transforms them, gives them these weird powers. So as they're trying to figure out what's going on with them, how to control these abilities, they're also dealing with this secret cult that's been gaining power within their town, this cult of religious fanatics, and also which is also involved with these weird human experimentation stuff that was kind of happening 20 years ago within their town. So yeah, it's kind of like it's got a lot of hallmarks of not just superhero stuff, but this like supernatural mystery kind of stuff. You got mad scientists, human experimentations. It's like all that Stranger Things stuff. So yeah, so it's funny. How I came onto this show was that I saw this article. It was talking about the series The Boys. The Amazon series. That was kind of lampooning superheroes and all that. It was talking about how that show was ending, so people could try to get their next superhero fix on this show. That's how I came on it. And and this doesn't really satirize the superhero genre, kind of like the Boys, where The Boys was kind of really just kind of all about making fun of the genre and just really taking jabs at superheroes and its popularity. But this one, The WONDERfools, it's a much more affectionate portrayal of the superhero stuff. It's but it deals with a lot of familiar elements, as I kind of touched on. But what it does well, in regards to all the superhero stuff, but also all those familiar elements, is that it has all these familiar things, but it does them well. It really embraces these ideas, that brings out the fun of what we originally loved about these things. So in that way, it makes them feel fresh. And I think even though there's a lot of movies that try to use a lot of elements that we've seen before, but this is an example of a series, of a product that I feel like if it's okay to use these elements, so long as you do them well, you do them with love, with affection, with conviction, then people will enjoy it, even though a lot of it feels very familiar. And in regards to the superhero stuff, it's just, yeah, with that stuff, how it succeeds in that area is that it, goes back to what a lot of the best superhero movies and shows did that made them really good, which is it focuses on the human elements. And in this show, all the characters, they talked about, they're, yeah, as I said, they're misfits, they're outsiders, but they really take the time to bring you into these people and their problems and their personalities, how they kind of bounce off and all that with one another, and it's just so endearing, so charming. It makes these people so relatable that you just want to. Something I felt throughout is that every time something bad happens, which of course is meant to happen, is the show is nothing without conflict, but every time something bad happens to these people, you care. I cared. Like, I didn't want anything bad to happen to these people. When something did, I felt sorry for them, and all that is helped also by the performances of not just the main cast, but everyone in that show. The show is really good at balancing the humor as well as the emotion, the heartfelt stuff. It's just even though, and one of the biggest problems with the show overall is that it's very slow paced. Like, it's only 8 episodes, but each episode is very long. It's like at least an hour long. And so they really take the time to make you sit there with these people and their problems. But and even though some of it can feel kind of slow, you want to continue following them because you just care about these people so much. The show made you care about them. And even then, it's not short any of the action and special effects and all that. All that is actually really cool. Like the way they shoot some of these action sequences, the way the camera kind of stays on them and moves around. There's a few key sequences, especially towards the last few episodes, that are just really cool, very engaging. And the effects, effects nowadays, the special effects, they get a lot of bad rep. A lot of them, don't feel as real or cool anymore. And here is, it's not perfect, but it brings you back to that era of superheroes and just fantasy and supernatural stuff, where those effects, they do, when you look back at them, they look kind of janky, but when you first saw them, they looked really cool. And this kind of evokes that same kind of feeling. And another great element about this show is just the way it built its world. A lot of it is really set into this, as I said, this one town, but it's such a small town that's, it's one of those things where everyone kind of knows each other. Everyone knows everyone's name, to the point that people are so familiar with everyone else's antics that everyone has like these little nicknames. Like the main characters, like the girl is called Miss Lady Trainwreck because of her antics, her eccentricities. And the older guy, he's called a Royal Nightmare because he's always complaining and no one believes him. He's all so all that is really kind of charming. Helps to suck you into this world. And something that's really cool, like just thinking about when I'm talking so much about these characters, is that these are characters who they could so easily have been annoying. Like the main girl, she's very bubbly, she's very smiley, she's like, it doesn't take anything seriously. And one of the other guys, like I said, he's always complaining. He's he's the adult of this group, so he's all like, oh, these youngsters they don't respect their elders and all that kind of stuff. And the other guy, the pushover, is just like just crying and weeping all the time as everyone else kind of insults him. But these also make these people so relatable, and you connect them easily through that. And they manage to find that balance where they're really goofy, they're very flawed, but you love them, and you just really feel for them. And that's the best thing you can say about this series, especially as something that uses a lot of the superhero element stuff. So, and yeah, I just really would like to bring attention to this because, nowadays, everyone is a lot of people have gotten so tired of, the superhero genre and all these familiar tropes and elements and all that. But, things like this help to remind us why we love them so much, why it's become oversaturated to the point that we've gotten so frustrated with them. It's something that's, maybe should not be as overexposed as it is, but it's something that should stick around because, it's something that, connects with a lot of people for different reasons. And I think this show is going to help to remind us of what those things are and why we care about this genre, about these stories, about these kinds of people so much. So, yeah, if you can go ahead, search for it. It's on Netflix. It's a very new show, so you should be able to find it easily. So, yeah, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And yeah, have fun, and see you guys around.